Hi everyone. Greetings to you all from the Admission Committee of Vinod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur. As the name We Connect, Know Your VGSoM suggests. In this session, we would be helping you to know the institute VGSoM that you are eager to join. Vinod Gupta School of Management, VGSoM, was set up as the first school of management in the IIT system in the year 1993. With the support of a distinguished alumnus of the institute, Dr. Vinod Gupta, the former CEO and chairman of Info USA. The school has grown exceptionally over the years. From a handful of students to 240 students today, the journey of VGSoM has been remarkable. We've secured ninth place in the NIRF Management Rankings 2021 and top positions in multiple other rankings. These feats place us at par with the other elite B schools in this country. Starting with its flagship Master of Business Administration, VGSoM currently offers a repertoire of 5 programs. The Executive MBA program is run from its Kolkata campus, attracting working executives primarily from the eastern region of the country. The school has a vibrant doctoral program. The dual degree Financial Engineering is a unique program wherein the students complete a bachelor's degree in core engineering and obtain a master's degree in financial engineering. This program is jointly offered by VGSoM and departments of Mathematics and Humanities and Social Sciences of IIT Kharagpur. The Postgraduate Diploma in Business Analytics is another first-of-a-kind program offered jointly by 3 premier institutes, namely Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata, Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and IIT Kharagpur. The vision of the school is to develop as a center of excellence in management education and research, catering to the needs of organizations in different sectors of the economy with special emphasis on technology-driven and knowledge-based industries that are characterized by high degrees of globalization, dynamism, complexity, and innovation. The mission of the school is to develop outstanding management professionals and future CEOs who will lead organizations, especially in technology-driven and knowledge-based industries, in the service of the nation and community. Now, let me not just restrict the description of VGSoM in words, but instead let us see a video to get to know the campus.
Vinod Gupta School of Management, VGSoM, was set up as the first school of management within the IIT system in 1993. With the support of a distinguished alumnus, Mr. Vinod Gupta, VGSoM offers various degree programs that include the flagship program Master of Business Administration in General Management.
Welcome friends to IIT Kharagpur and particularly to Vinod Gupta School of Management. This school was started in 1993 by one of our alumnus, Dr. Vinod Gupta, who is BTech in Agricultural Engineering from IIT Kharagpur and who is doing very well in US today. He has a thinking that technology and management must be married together in order to get to the benefit of the corporate world as well as the industries. And that is only possible if you know what are the details of man, material and maintenance of that together with the whole energy involved in the system. And therefore, until unless you know all the nuances of how a supply chain acts, you will not be in a position to do the best in your life. I am sure that once you join this and have an MBA degree, I am sure you will do well in life. Thank you very much. Best of luck.
So this is the first business school among the IIT system, and our flagship program is MBA program, and it's a 2-year program. Besides this MBA program, we have a unique program known as the Postgraduate Diploma in Business Analytics. This is jointly offered with the help of ISI Kolkata and IIM Kolkata.
And we, the faculty of Vinod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur, bring diverse cross-industry experience This helps us in shaping our pedagogy around all-round structured learning in diverse field of management, entrepreneurship, as well as analytics. In the COVID-19 pandemic situation, we have shifted to online mode of teaching for the time being, while keeping our focus on the long trusted teaching pedagogies like lectures, case discussions, field experience. We have always encouraged our students to actively engage with the industry, like through LBOC projects, which is Learning Business Outside Classroom, summer internship projects, and multiple live projects. This helped them to have better exposure with the industry as well as sharpen their decision-making skills. We look forward to have our new batch as soon as possible in the campus.
Over the years, VGSoM has consistently ranked itself among the top 10 in the National Institutional Ranking Framework (NIRF), published by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. The school is a member of the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business (AACSB) since September 2020. VGSoM IIT Kharagpur offers a plethora of facilities and cutting-edge infrastructure to its students and faculty. Some of them are a central library, which also provides a huge database of books and research papers, a computer laboratory with the most innovative hardware and software that is open 24/7, a high-speed Wi-Fi enabled campus, real-time financial data through Bloomberg terminals and Provis CMIE, pleasant residential accommodations with high-speed Wi-Fi and LAN, an in-hostel library and recreational centers for students, Students' Gymkhana, a center for sports, cultural and social wellness, relaxing modern food joints like Nescafe centers, Subway and Cafe Coffee Day. Despite the onset of the pandemic and the resultant lockdowns, VGSoM with its technological capabilities swiftly switched to a virtual mode of education, with tech-enabled interactive classrooms, online leadership talks, case studies, group assignments and projects. VGSoM ensured no compromise on peer-to-peer learning and the overall MBA experience.
The Placement Committee at Vinod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur, seeks to uphold the institute's reputation as one of the hotspots of talent acquisition for recruiters. We are a diligent and determined student-driven body with the primary focus of facilitating placements and other corporate engagement opportunities for students. We collaborate with corporate stalwarts to organize industrial workshops, corporate competitions and live projects through which students get a hands-on experience of solving real-world business problems. The flagship placement activities are held biannually, once for summer internships and then for final placements, with prominent recruiters forging long-standing association with the institute. We, as the Placement Committee, strive to expand our institute's corporate network and make VGSoM a key destination for recruiters year on year.
The Corporate and Media Interaction Cell of the Vinod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur, is responsible for providing platform for academic corporate synergy, which helps us push forward the goals of seamlessly blending management and technology. The annual HR Conclave and Leadership Summit, which are the key highlights of corporate engagement endeavors, put forth the ideas from the stalwarts of industry leaders and help us carve out new thinkings in the young minds. Since we have been confronted from the pandemic, we have left no stone unturned to shift every experience online. It was a unique experience to organize HR Conclave online for the first time last year. Also, online leadership talk series Vakya continued to facilitate engagement with corporate leaders to complement the academic understanding of business with corporate perspectives. CMI also manages the visibility and footprints of the institute over a wide range of social media platforms, which complements to get international acclaim.
The entrepreneurship cell of Vinod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur, is responsible for promoting and nourishing the startup ecosystem culture in VGSoM. We connect with startups to bring in live projects and winter internships for the student fraternity. We also host e-summit and business plan competitions for students to bridge the gap between venture capitalists, angel investors, startups, and the students.
Amidst the hectic schedule of the MBA, the Cultural Committee provides several opportunities to the students to fraternize with each other. The committee conducts several events such as Freshers, Farewell, Diwali, Hook Step Challenge, and much more. The committee is solely responsible for batch parties and is looked forward with great zeal and enthusiasm from the student fraternity.
Purvodaya, meaning Rising of the East, is counted amongst the top business fairs in India due to the level of competition brought about by the best minds from premier institutes like IIMs, IITs, etc. Purvodaya 2022, themed Breaking the Paradigms, aimed at highlighting the importance of building organizations that adapt to changes, respond to them, and dare to think out of the box.
The Alumni Committee is a student-driven initiative that links this institute with its global alumni base through different events which strive to foster an engaging, enriching, and mutually beneficial relationship, ensuring that this institute receives the benefit for the same. Under its publications, the Alumni Committee rolls out monthly VGSoM diaries, Kaleidoscope, which is a video presentation series, and annual magazine In Sync. The other events that are conducted by the Alumni Committee are Smaran, the Alumni Batch Meet, the Mentorship Program, and the flagship event Reminiscence.
Hi, I am Aparna Shri Shastri from the batch of 2006 of Vinod Gupta School of Management. I have been a banker for the last 16 years and I'm currently serving as Vice President at HDFC Bank. VGSoM has provided me the stepping stone for my career, and life at VGSoM will always be unforgettable.
The Admission Committee of the Vinod Gupta School of Management IIT Kharagpur is a student-run body that ensures the seamless execution of the admission process. Through close coordination with the admissions office, it acts as a guide to all the aspirants. Further, the Admission Committee grooms the incoming batch to help them hone their business acumen.
I welcome you all to join our MBA program in Vinod Gupta School of Management.
Going forward, we will look to address some of the queries that we received from the shortlisted candidates for personal interview. Answers of the form that you have filled and submitted earlier, and due to the constraint of time, we have selected the most frequent queries and tried to address them. Now, the members of Admission Committee, Somanil and Vaibhav, will answer some of the queries. Over to you.
Thank you, Joel. So without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, like Joel mentioned, we have got a lot of queries, particularly about the PI process. So let's try to answer some of those. Firstly, all candidates will get the meeting details like date, time, platform, and specific schedule on day one of their interview week. All candidates are requested to join the meeting with the name provided on the application for the interview. Strictly, the CAT number should not be used. The process of interview will be only one round of personal interview with the panel. With regards to when exactly you have to join, it is expected that you will join the call 30 minutes before the mentioned interview time. Once the interview is over, the aspirant can drop off after taking due permission from the panel. Now, coming to what kind of questions you should expect. The answer to that is be prepared to talk about your work experience in detail. If you are a fresher, you should be thoroughly versed to respond to questions based on your academics, like your graduation subjects and branch. In addition, all interviewees should be conversant on current affairs. With regards to this, let me also share my experience here. I have 2+ years of work experience in the IT consulting service sector. My interview focused on my work ex and what I have learned from that. I am passionate about evolving technology. I also focus on this topic in my interview. I hope this answers some of the pressing queries that you had. If you still have some more, please feel free to reach out to us over mail and on our Pagalbai forum. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Samir. You have covered many of points. I would like to add few points like on the day of interview, make sure that you wear proper formals so that you look good and decent in the interviews. Also, make the documents which you need to carry during the interview session is you need to have a government ID card, which can be your Aadhaar card or your PAN card. So make sure that they are handy and keep the originals with you throughout the process of interview. The panelist might ask at the beginning or might ask at the end of the interview. And moreover, make sure that you have your water bottles as well as you make sure that you have a notebook and pen so that if the panelist asks any questions related to writing anything, then it would be handy for you. Make sure that you always face towards the camera and don't try to distract from your interview.
Thank you, Vaibhav, for sharing the awesome insights into that. And I feel that this will really help the candidates a lot. Moving on, I think the first question on everyone's mind is, how should I prepare for the interview and how is it going to be like? So to answer that question, we have with us Aditi from our batch, who's going to share with us her interview experience and possibly inspire and shed light on the process. So Aditi, here's it over to you.
Thank you, Shamini. So hello everyone. My name is Aditi Samanta and today I'll be sharing my VGSoM interview experience with you all. My interview was a well-rounded interview and I was tested on a multitude of topics. It started with a short introduction of myself, from which it moved towards my 2 years of work experience in the IT industry. The questions posed were a lot focused on my work experience that I had, the depth and the breadth of knowledge that I had garnered during those 2 years. Moving forward, the discussion shifted towards the current affairs. The discussion was more about my opinions on various current affair topics and how I was able to justify them. More than the factual data, the focus was on my logical thinking and structural thinking. Moreover, ranging from its political, social, and economical issues. Gradually, the interview moved towards my academics. The questions posed were mostly on the applications of the subjects that I had studied during my undergrad. Given that during my introduction, I had mentioned my liking towards analytics, I was also asked a lot of questions from statistics. So this was it. And I would like to thank Admission Committee for giving me a chance to share my personal interview experience for the upcoming batch of MBA aspirants.
Thank you, Aditi. I mean, the upcoming batch, I'm sure they're going to benefit a lot from hearing actual stories of how interviews happen at VGSoM. And moving on with the event, we have with us members of the admissions committee, Ravi and Bharat Gopal, who will be talking on the topic of the interview process. So here's to you, Ravi and Bharat.
Yeah, thanks, Shamini. So coming to some of the questions that the candidates have been asked, like in the form that we have floated, Shamini and Vaibhav has covered major of the points. And some of the points that I would like to cover is like, there is a question regarding, yes, some people are having work X. So what would be the questions based upon? It's, yeah, because you're having a work X, the questions would be based on work X, but you should also focus on your undergrad subjects. Because, for example, let's take my interview. I'm a mechanical engineer. After that, I have worked 2 years in a water construction company. water treatment plant construction company. So the subjects that we expecting is fluid mechanics and so on. So it's totally related to the undergrad subjects that I have taken. So just get prepared on it. And regarding some of the things that you have asked regarding the meeting link and so on, that would be communicated with you shortly. Thank you. I think Bharat can go on this.
Yeah, thanks, Ravi. So I would like to address some of the questions that you had. So there is a question like, will there be a GD or VAT or extempore, or is it just the PA round? So I would like to say that there is no exclusive GD, VAT or extempore round, but you have to note that if the panelists feel like giving you an extempore, he might give you an extempore. So be prepared for anything. So that is my advice to you. And another question that I've seen is like, what to do if I get dropped off or I'm not able to join the PA. So you should immediately contact one of the ADCO members as such. So make sure to note at least 2 ADCO members' numbers and keep it handy with you from the VGSoM website. Okay. And next, would the PA heavily focus on our undergraduate subjects, and how do you prepare for the PA? So this is a very common question that we've got. So I would encourage all of you to go to the VGSoM YouTube channel and check out our latest video series called The Last Lab. So we students of VGSoM have been talking about the interview experiences there. So I would encourage all of you to go and watch that. Now coming to how to prepare for the PA. So would the PA heavily focus on undergraduate subjects? It would not focus so deeply, but you need to have a conceptual understanding of all your subjects from your PTech. And make sure you delve a bit more deep into one favorite subject, so that if the interviewer tries to ask you about that, you will have a good chance to drive the interview. And be very thorough with your work experience, and be ready to explain in layman's terms about your role, because the interviewer might not be very thorough with what your role was. So be ready for that. Have a brush up on your general knowledge and the things that are happening around you. So that is quite a necessary thing to have. Also, engineering mathematics topics like probability, statistics, you can expect those in the interview. So brush up a bit on that as well as some basic economic questions like inflation, supply and demand, etc. And some basic hygiene checks. Maintains good eye contact and always look at the camera when you're speaking. Be well groomed and have a stable internet connection with you, and a good quality webcam if possible. So apart from that, we, the admission committee, will always be there to support you during the entire journey to make the process as seamless as possible. Over to you, Sumit.
Thank you, Bharat. Thank you for addressing some of the pressing questions that we have received. Moving on again, we have with us Samhita as well from our batch. She'll also be sharing with us her experience of the interview process, and I'm very sure that it will be very helpful for the aspirants. So over to you, Samhita.
Thank you, Soumya. Hi everyone, I'm Samhita, and prior to joining VGSoM, I have a background in mechanical engineering and a work experience of 3 years with an oil and gas firm as a subsea design engineer. So coming to my interview at VGSoM, it was taken by 3 professors. The first professor asked me profile-based questions. He started off by asking me to introduce myself in 1 minute. Post my introduction, I was asked a question which I'd mentioned in the introduction. So I was asked to describe why I felt that inquisitiveness was one of my key strengths. And after that, the second professor took over and he asked me domain-specific questions. I was asked to draw and explain the schematic of an oil field and the various components involved in the oil extraction process. And most of the questions were revolved around it. So this was the domain-specific questions. After that, the third professor, he asked me mostly economics and finance-based questions. So I was asked to detail what GDP and GNP means and how the two are different. Apart from this, I was also asked to explain what net present value, internal rate of return, and what unicorns mean. And I was asked to list the 5 upcoming unicorns back then, which were coming up. And then finally, the first professor, he concluded the interview by asking me to summarize the most recent book that I'd read, because I'd mentioned it in my introduction. And then he'd also asked me questions pertaining to an NGO that I'd worked with. So he'd asked me what were the key challenges I faced and what was the biggest success out of it. And so this is my interview in a nutshell. I hope it helps you, and I'm wishing the best of luck to all of the aspirants.
I'm sure, Samhita, I'm sure it will be helpful. But interviews are great. I mean, of course, interviews is something that all of us are worried about, but something that excites us is the kind of life that awaits us once we get into VGSoM. So Aditi and Samhita, would you like to shed some light on it? Would you like to share your stories, your memories of how this has been so far?
Shall I start?
Yeah, sure, Aditi, you can start us off.
Okay. For me, the best highlight of, in my opinion, about VGSoM is the amount of exposure that we get from the clubs and committees of VGSoM. It has so many clubs and committees, and we get to be part of more than one club and committee. So it helps us in building team bonding, learning a lot, and collaborating a lot with our peers and seniors. So that's an amazing part of being part of VGSoM. Also, the amount of guest lectures and industry interaction that we have had thus far, has been amazing. We have had industry experts coming from various domains of management, and the amount of knowledge that has been imparted to us is something that I could have never got out of VGSoM. So those are the key most important highlights in my opinion. And about campus life, I would really recommend the upcoming batch or the upcoming aspirants to go ahead and check out the Rubaru videos that are made by the admission committee about how campus life is at VGSoM. So that would be from my end.
That was wonderful, Aditi.
Samhita, you were saying something here.
Yeah, sure. So Aditi actually gave a wonderful brief about VGSoM experience. But I just want to add that there's a lot of diversity in VGSoM with respect to people from different states coming up, right? So whenever we have case-based discussions during the class, it's really wonderful to take in all the perspectives and come to a consensus. So that for me is a wonderful experience with VGSoM. Apart from this, I also enjoy the guest lectures, like she said, and asking questions. We get to interact with industry stalwarts after that. So that is also a beautiful experience.
I think so, absolutely. I mean, for me, the highlight would be the kind of peer-to-peer interactions that we have. Given the diversity in our batch, it's really mind-opening to be able to talk on so diverse topics in so diverse contexts that, it takes the conversation to a whole new level. And like, Aditi pointed out, the kind of guest lectures that we have, the kind of visiting professors that we have, that gives us an opportunity to look at the industry in very different perspectives. Each of them bring with them a different way of looking at things. And we are at the, boilerplate of so much amount of good knowledge. So that's really awesome. Having said that, I have to say that this event comes to an end, but feel free to reach out to us with any queries, any questions that you have. You can access admissions committee on any of our official handles. You can reach out to us via mail. Our phone numbers are also available on the admissions website. Please feel free to call us, and we'll do our best to help you. Having said that, I wish you the best of luck on behalf of the admissions committee, and we wish you the best in all your future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for joining in, and hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. Take care.